Redline Network introduces our newest partnership, Outlaw Light. Outlaw is crafted for all of the beer drinking patrons of America. They aren't preaching or teaching, their mission plain and simple, to provide a high quality beer at an affordable price. Outlaw is crisp, crushable, refreshing. Available by the case, tall boys, 16-ounce six-packs or singles. Go to outlawbeer.com to find the nearest can or tavern near you. The Redline Network proudly raises their cans to you. Stay bold, Outlaw.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to another episode of Steel City Renegades Playoff Edition. You got myself here, Dynamite Dave, and D's. I hope you're feeling better, but he says D's on a deathbed. D's joining us, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
Go ahead.
I think I'm feeling better than I was yesterday for unscripted, for the simple fact that I had a heavenly angel bring me a care package yesterday with some meds and everything, and so it's keeping the heart beating for now.
That's always good, man. Glad to see you're feeling a little bit better, man. That's always good. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Pittsburgh Steelers playoff tomorrow against the Houston Texans, 8:30 start, home game for the Steelers. It's been a while since the Steelers have won a playoff game.
2017.
2017. It's almost been 10 years since they won a playoff game. Mike Tomlin is 11-0 on Monday Night Football. Steelers are 21 game winning streak dating back to 1991. Pittsburgh home field advantage are the underdogs against the number one ranked defense in the NFL. These, what are your thoughts here? What do we got to do to win this game? What do we got to do to advance? If we don't win, is this the end? Does Tomlin resign, or do they fire him? Depending on if Matt LaFleur gets fired. Speaking of that, real quick, what a debacle in Chicago! What a debacle in Green Bay!
Yeah, that was that's an epic collapse. I mean, obviously, it's not on par with the the Bills Titans, or God, what was we had a big playoff comeback not that long ago that eclipsed that. But anyway, it's still bad. Like, you're up 21, what was it, 21-9 in the fourth quarter, and they had two missed field goals and a missed extra point. And I know one of the missed field goals was pretty long. Thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to not die on all of you.
That is my beautiful girlfriend, Amy K. So she's giving you.
Oh, Amy, you have my condolences. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, look, it's the running joke on the show where I live, and I'm in Illinois. I'm 2 hours south of Chicago. Never, ever been a Bears fan, and typically always root against them unless they're playing one of the really hated rivals. So I was pulling for Green Bay. But to collapse like that, fourth quarter, if they make just one of those kicks and the extra point, like the one field goal was long. I think it was 57 yards. And McManus.
That was the one before the end of the half, right? Where he made it and then they iced him.
Yeah. Yeah. McManus has struggled all year. And then the other guy that they brought in also struggled. So I guess you could pin that on coach and GM as like not addressing the issue. Which I don't know who's available kicker wise. They tried another guy and he didn't work out all that great either. But the one at the end that would have made it a 6-point game, which, to be fair, had they made that field goal, that doesn't necessarily guarantee it, because Chicago did in fact still go down and score a touchdown, but it would have at least gave Green Bay an opportunity to kick a field goal for the win, which, ifs and buts, candy and nuts, how all that saying goes. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I won't be entirely shocked if LaFleur is let go. Again,
Bill, Bill
I
King,
would
thank
put
you for
that
joining us.
I would put that like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least likely to 10 being most likely it's going to happen. I would put LaFleur getting the shit canned like a 2 or 3 at best. I just don't think it's going to happen. They faced a lot of injuries this year, and I think that's going to give him a free pass. You know, Micah Parsons going down after the huge trade really, really hurt them, and he could have made a difference in that. So it's sad. Anyway,
Yeah, Deez, I kind of agree with you on that LaFleur thing, but there's a lot of people talking, man. I got up early this morning on Twitter to check these Packers. People talking, people in the media, they're not happy with this demise that, you know, you had the 21-3 lead, and it's been time after time. You know, he's only had one losing season, but he's getting there to the playoffs, and he's not getting to the Super Bowl, the big game. And I mean, he started there as the head coach in 2019, so he's going to be 7 years in, and his contract's up after this season. They were talking about a contract extension in his press conference. He said now is not the time, but you could see the look on his face that either he's fed up with what's going on, or it's ran its course there. And let me ask you this, Deez: if he does get let go by the Packers, is that the most sexiest job that's out there now? So that would make 9 head coaching positions that are open. If you're Harbaugh, Stefanski, anybody out there looking for a coaching job, is that the number one spot where you want to go?
Probably. I mean, if you take away the draw of the large market of New York or whatever, you know, that's still very attractive just because of the exposure and everything. But as far as like if you're a coach where all you give a shit about is going and winning and having a chance for a championship, Green Bay is probably your best option. Green Bay is you jump in and you just start the engine up and go. You know, yeah, they need a piece or two here or there, but for the most part, that is like playoff ready. You know, you get a healthy Micah back next year, Jordan Love, if he can stay healthy for the season. Robert Golden, I expected more out of him this year. Maybe in year 2, he'll be able to step it up a little bit, but
hey, look,
yeah.
the Steelers' new offensive coordinator, Michael McDaniel, is watching us. Just joking, man. Thanks for joining the show and watching and giving your input. Go Pittsburgh Steelers, kick some butt this Monday night in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers. Yep, that's what we want to hear. But man, I don't know. But let's get back to this Packer thing, man. 21-3 at halftime. You talked about it. They missed the field goal right before or they made the field goal, got iced, missed the field goal, and then it just went to shit after that, man, with the Packers. And we were at the bar watching World's End. By the way, real quick, D's, World's End knocked it out the park at the Doghouse, so kudos to them. Man, that place was standing room only for them. First time ever there, sold the place out. The owner loved it. They complimented me for, booking them there. Listen, it ain't about that, man. It's about bringing the energy. It's a team effort to get you booked there. Appreciate all you guys who were there. Everybody who came out and showed out at the Doghouse. Appreciate all you guys.
Pure guess based on the band name, Hard Rock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like cover band or originals or both?
Cover band. I'll send you some of their music, man, and let me know what you think of them. I don't know how they're not. See, Rockin' on the River is one of the big things out here. I don't know how they're not headlining or at Rockin' on the River. That thing's been in existence for 10 years, and they haven't even been out there. It's a tragedy. It is. It's a tragedy. But anyway, getting back to that with, the debacle there, almost we talked about LaFleur firing, but we got a game today too as well. The Bills. What do you think about if McDermott loses? Do you think he should lose his job?
Do I think he should? Not necessarily. However, when you're looking at the whole picture and the hype versus playoff success, McDermott is one that, his seat should warm up when they lose in the playoffs, because for the last few years, Buffalo has been the team that everybody really kind of talked about in the AFC, in addition to the Chiefs. And this year, you don't have the Chiefs or Joe Burrow and the Bengals to contend with. So should the Bills not perform well today, I would think that that's going to be a little more pressure on McDermott. But again, I don't think he gets fired. I think that they really like him there. And you've got the franchise quarterback. I really think that if they just upgrade their receiving room and get a playmaker or two on defense, that they'll be right back in there. So I don't think either one of them are going to go, being McDermott and LaFleur. However, again, I won't be completely shocked if that's the outcome after this weekend.
Yeah. Do you think there's any possibility, D's, that if Pittsburgh loses, either Tomlin resigns or we get rid of him?
Possibility, yes, I do, especially if it's an embarrassing loss. If it looks like we just come out absolutely flat, I could see it happening. Again, I will say this loud for the people in the back. Mike Tomlin will not be fired. Period. Point blank. End of story. At least it won't be announced that way. There might be a settlement and a mutual parting of ways, or Mike Tomlin will step down, or Mike Tomlin will be traded. I don't see Rooney flat out firing him and eating that contract. That's just not the way that it's not the way they do business.
So if he does resign or let go, does that bump every other team as the number one place to go? Is that the sexiest job that's out there for coaching candidates?
Pittsburgh?
Yes.
No, I still don't think it's the top. It goes to the top, of the jobs that are there. I would put Pittsburgh top 3, if for nothing else, because of the tradition, the job security, the loyalty that Pittsburgh shows their coaches. It's going to be up there for sure. But I still don't think it's necessarily the top. And the only reason I say that is the quarterback situation. Because, like I said in our special show the other day, if Tomlin is gone, so is Aaron. And I was literally kind of brainstorming this in my 45-minute hot shower this morning while I was trying to clear out my sinuses. It's kind of conspiracy theory territory here. I see a scenario where whenever Pittsburgh's season is done, Tomlin, Rodgers, and Hayward are done. And the reason I say that is because Tomlin was on Rich Eisen's show the other day, and they were talking to him and everything, and they were kind of mentioning how they've noticed now that every game since week 1, Aaron, Mike, and Cam all walk off the field together at the end of the game. And according to Mike, him and Cam have been doing that for a long time, just, because of the leadership role and everything that Cam has. And then Aaron, when he joined, like, he just became part of their little clique. So it just kind of, there's also, if you kind of pay attention to the way that Cam speaks and, some of the guys that have been in that locker room have talked about the way other players have been treating Cam these last couple weeks, that there may be a known instance within that locker room that Cam has maybe told them that this is it, even though he's not posting it. So I could see a world where all 3 of them are done, because Aaron's definitely not coming back for a coaching change. No matter what happens, maybe LaFleur, but I don't know. Aaron talks highly of LaFleur, but not sure that he would play in Pittsburgh. Again, that's a fantasy scenario, but I don't see Aaron coming back if Tomlin's not here. And if Tomlin's not here, I also don't think Cam Hayward comes back. So, yeah, there's that.
Dees, I kind of see that, and you're right. You brought up some good points with Cam and Rodgers walking off the field together. You know, all three of them together, riding off in the sunset together wouldn't be impossible. Or now that you think about it, it could happen. But real quick, got a couple questions here in the chat. Mike McDaniel says, "My name is Michael McDaniel. I'm sorry, Steelers fan, no Ravens. Yeah, we ain't Ravens fans here neither." Bill King says, "Who do you think will get the Browns job?" Bill, we'll get to that. And Hunter Bailey says, "No franchise quarterback in place." We'll get to that. My thoughts on that.
So, real quick aside, you know the story I told you about my little cousin that had a Roethlisberger jersey on that some ugly bitch in Cincinnati said, "I hope he doesn't rape me." That's who it was Hunter Bailey. That's my cousin.
Oh, okay. So
He's like damn near 30 now, but this was way back.
So my thoughts on this is if Tomlin loses this game, this playoff game, I honestly think Pittsburgh's going to have to either go into him and say, "Mike, it's time for you to step away. We need a new voice in the locker room." If not, you give him 1 year and give him an ultimatum and say, "It's Super Bowl or bust next year. If you don't get to the Super Bowl, we'll give you Rodgers. We'll spend as much money as we can. We got 1 year left on your deal. Spend as much money as you can to get us there, get you there. But after next year, that's it. We're not going to renew your contract," so on and so forth. But it's time for a voice change there. You see, Baltimore did it. Baltimore doesn't do that. Baltimore's not known for doing that. They did that with Harbaugh. Sometimes, like you say, Dees, we talked about this. Once you get to a place so long, sometimes you get lazy at coaching, and you can see it in opportunities when they are on the field that he doesn't care. He plays to not lose the football game. Like you brought that up multiple times. He plays not to turn the football over, and he does live in his own fears. You brought that up after he said that he didn't live in his own fears. He does. You watch the games. Go back and watch them, especially from this year with Rodgers. He lives in his own fears. He hasn't developed a quarterback since Ben has not developed one. He hasn't had anybody from his coaching tree go get other jobs. Shane, that's right. Baby claps, Shane. Baby claps. Oh, D's doing it now. Now it's getting out there to the cornfields of Chicago. By the way, D's don't live anywhere near close to the cornfields. Just that we got going on. But yeah, I think it's time to move on from Tomlin if we lose. I mean, the only way I see him keeping his job or getting an extension is if him getting to the AFC Championship game and possibly to the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying he's going there because I got yelled at by certain people that, I'm saying that he's going there. But do people realize that the playoffs is a different beast? Look at what happened with Carolina and the Rams. That game was closer than what anybody thought it would be. Closer than any. But I mean, listen, it may be time for the Steelers to turn the page, let Tomlin go on and do. If you're going to trade anybody, trade him to the Giants, get that job, get that pick. And it has to be for the first round pick for this year. If you're going to do it, I want the first round pick for this year. It's a top 5 pick, right, Dees? Ain't they picking in the top 5?
The Giants?
Yes.
4 or 5, somewhere it's right there, 4 or 5. And I agree. It's I don't think it's going to be, I can't remember which trade it was, but there was like 2 firsts and a third. And it's not going to be that, but it's going to be at least a first. Period. Point blank. End of story. It will be at least 1 first rounder, maybe a first and somewhere down the line as well. Just to go back to when you first started talking about, I don't think it's ever been a case of Tomlin doesn't care. I think he cares, but I also think that he is so set in his ways of don't turn the ball over and rely on getting turnovers and sacks. And when that fails, we're fucked. He won't take risks, i.e. throw over the middle of the field or go for it on 4th down. Although that has improved as we have have gone later in the season. But yeah, it's simple that his style is kind of becoming archaic, and he needs to kind of get with the times. Like you're not going to win championships by playing to not lose or coaching to not lose.
Yeah.
And he's just got to learn that. And I don't necessarily think that any loss tomorrow night means that he is, going to leave or be asked to leave or step down, whatever. I think it's going to take like a blatantly obvious embarrassment, a not prepared, a typical quote unquote Tomlin game. I think if something, if it's a hard fought game and like we have a fluky play that we lose the game on, or one of the stars go down, then it, the heat might not be turned up so high on that. I think that unless it is a complete collapse Monday night, I think the team did enough over the last 5 weeks of the season to save his job. And that's including the shit show that was in Cleveland.
You don't think that maybe his seat is just a touch bit warm going into this playoff?
Oh, yeah, I think it's warm. I just don't think that it's going to be warm enough unless they get just embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed. I mean, we're talking Buffalo type embarrassing, where the crowd is basically completely turned on you by halftime. And let's be honest, while I don't think it's going to happen, this Houston defense has the ability to do that.
They do. And that's what I'm a little afraid of, D's, because we do not come out strong. If we don't come out strong and put points on the board early, this game is over with. This game's over with. I mean, you got to come out every opportunity you have in the red zone. You got to get the points. Don't chance it on a 4th and 1 at the 2, and the defense is good. Just take the points. Don't be a Ben Johnson. Arthur Smith, you better call the best game that you've called all year long. And Rodgers, you better get the ball out as fast as you can. I know we got some playmakers on offense. The only good thing on offense that we got coming back is DK. DK's coming back, so that'll take a little pressure off Rodgers. I know Freiermuth has been hot the last couple games. Continue to do that. Get Freiermuth the football. Move Jonnu around. And I don't understand why Caleb Johnson is not getting any helmets or whatever. What's going on with that? Have you heard anything with that, Dees?
I think it's more of a special teams kind of thing. And yeah, Hunter, that is spot on. I was just reading that in the side notes. But yeah, I think it's more of just special teams. And given the injuries that we've had in other areas, and that they want to have available options. I don't think it's a knock on Caleb at all. I think they're still big fans of Caleb. It's just that it's hard to give him snaps right now when you've got Jalen and Kenny playing so well. So I'm not ready to completely throw in the towel on Caleb, much like I am with Roman Wilson. Again, I just think it's a matter of special teams and depth at other positions, i.e. the offensive line or corner, or, the places that have been somewhat problematic for us.
And we got Ryan jumping in from the car. Ryan, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
We're good. We're just talking about Pittsburgh Steelers football here, talking about the debacle last night in Green Bay. Your thoughts real quick, if Matt LaFleur gets fired, or should he get fired? What's your thoughts on that?
I think he should. I mean, you're up 21-3. You're looking great. Chicago made the halftime adjustments. Green Bay didn't. Look, I don't think he's a bad coach. I just don't think it's working in Green Bay anymore. I know they had a lot of injuries, but you're up 21-3. You got to put them away. And they didn't. Came back to bite him. Chicago's moving on. Green Bay's not. I just think Green Bay should move on from him at this point.
How long, if they do move on from him, and I'll pose this to both of you, D's, I'll start with you. How long do you think before they make the call?
Before they let LaFleur go?
Yes, if they decide to move on from him, how long do you think it'll take?
Oh, Monday or Tuesday. They'll have their meeting or whatever, that they typically have either today or Monday, and we'll hear about it by the end of the day Monday, or by lunchtime Tuesday.
Especially with Harbaugh sitting out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big golden nugget sitting there. So that could also influence the decision, because again, I think Green Bay, if they are an available job, it's number one on the list.
That's what I was just going to ask you guys. If you're John Harbaugh and you have the pick of the litter on where you're going, and if Green Bay's job comes available, are you taking the Packers job over the Giants job?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You know, the only advantage that the Giants have in that, you know, one or the other situation is the market. Other than that, everything else is way more ready-made in Green Bay than it is in New York. New York is getting there. They've got pieces. They've got some young, talented guys, but they still need a few pieces before they take that step. Whereas, again, you get in Green Bay, you're literally starting the engine and putting your foot on the gas.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't want to be part of a reclamation project. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I think this is the order of the list that Harbaugh would consider. And you guys may call me crazy. I would say the Packers number 1, the Browns number 2, the Giants number 3, and Miami number 4. That's
You
just my
absolutely
thoughts.
fucking insane if you think that the Browns are in the top 4.
Listen, the only reason why I think that is D's is because going to the AFC North, knowing the North, his parents are from here. They met at Bowling Green. He has family ties here to, you know, being Browns fans his whole life. He openly admitted that, and he did say that it is a possibility for him to sometime in the future that he would like to coach for Cleveland. So you never know. Plus, Jimmy's got a bigger checkbook than anybody that's out there besides Arthur Blank to throw money at him. And if you're John Harbaugh, you're looking to resurrect yourself, not only yourself, but a franchise. And this will be the second biggest coaching hire in Cleveland Browns history. I don't think that job is far-fetched from him to not put on his list. I mean, if I'm Harbaugh, I'm looking at it, okay, yeah, you draft in the top 5 again. You got a good defense. You need to make some tweaks on offense, build your line. You're going to the AFC North where you know who you're going to play every week. You know the personnel there. There are a few upsides of him going there. But if the Green Bay job comes available, you guys are both right. Like, why wouldn't you want to take that job over any other job? And Miami's a pretty sexy job too. I mean, warm weather all the time. You got or maybe have a franchise quarterback, but you're going to have to trade him. That's just my thoughts, man. My thoughts, period. But if I'm the Browns, there's only 2 candidates I'm getting, and that is Brian Flores and Jim Harbaugh. Remember, the only 2 candidates that should be on your list. Go get them by any means necessary. Go ahead, Dees.
We're going to know rather quickly whether or not you might be right, because Harbaugh has pretty much made it known that he's not just going to go to every job and interview. He's going to narrow it down to 3 or 4 options, and it's not going to be anybody else. So when we start seeing him take interviews, we'll figure out who his favorites are. I personally, I don't think Cleveland's even on the list of a top 3 or 4, but if he is, I think that's got to be number 3 or 4. Like, as of right now, notwithstanding the potential of the Packers, to me it is Giants, Falcons, Dolphins, then maybe Cleveland. But
would you agree on that, Ryan, on the list that Dee just said, top 3? If the Packers,
I mean, I wouldn't know why he would want to go to the Giants because, like Dee said, they still need some pieces. I mean, you got a good quarterback, franchise quarterback, Jackson Dart. Lord knows what Scatterbo will come back with.
Offensive lines in football. You got Malik Neighbors coming back. You got a solid offensive line. Scatterbo, I don't think he's going to last very long in his career, but he'll be back for at least another year or 2. It's a quicker turnaround than, some of the other jobs that are out there. If, health being a factor, obviously.
I mean, Dolphins are close. Dolphins are closer than the Giants are at this point. So,
I mean, I don't disagree with you guys at all, but I think that this is one time the Browns franchise has got to pull the trigger and make a big splash signing for them. You can't go with the coordinators. You have to go with somebody who has been there. And Harbaugh has been to a Super Bowl, even though it's 14 years ago. He's been to a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to build a franchise to get there. And I mean, I don't know, just something in my gut tells me that that's where Harbaugh is going to go. I really think that that's where he's going to go. I think that that's a top 3 or 4 on his list, and he's going to sit down, and then that's going to be the spot where he goes. I mean, I get that you guys are talking about if the job in Green Bay comes, that's a good job. If the job or the Giants is open, but if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm taking the Cleveland job. That's just me, because I can go there and prove to Baltimore that I wasn't the problem. After all the reports came out, I think Dees mentioned it about Lamar falling asleep in meetings, and everybody else. He's coming late to meetings and he's getting special treatment. I think it was Dees that said that on the
Wasn't
show.
me. That
Okay.
definitely wasn't me.
But
I said that there is rumors that there's a disconnect between either Harbaugh and Monken or Harbaugh and Lamar concerning Monken. Like Todd Monken is in that drama triangle somewhere, and that was basically what led to the ultimate decision of him being let go. I know there was an article on ESPN that was like kind of a behind the scenes. I didn't read it because it's about Baltimore and fuck Baltimore. But yeah, it's something sketchy going on.
I agree with you. Ryan, your thoughts real quick on both playoff games yesterday.
Look, the Rams played out of the competition, which they did. I mean, the Panthers beat them earlier in the year. The Rams' defense is an issue going forward. I like the way Carolina fought back, but the Rams found a way. Obviously, a hell of a game. Nice comeback by the Panthers. So they've got a bright future. And as far as Green Bay, Chicago, I picked Green Bay to win. It was looking good, and they just fucking had a brain cramp in the second half. Chicago made the adjustments. Green Bay didn't. Green Bay took the foot off the gas. They didn't keep the pedal to the metal. And it was inexplicable. You're up 21-3. You should be able to win that game. With Caleb Williams throwing a couple of interceptions that were dumb, by the way. Jordan Love, I know he had that one interception, but it shouldn't have mattered. It shouldn't have, and the field goal kicker shouldn't come down to that. I'm sorry. You got 11 guys on both sides of the ball. It shouldn't come down to a field goal kicker missing a field goal. So I kudos to Chicago. A lot of fight. They fought back, and Green Bay just shit the bed, man. They just shit the bed, and that's why I think maybe in the next couple of days you will see LaFleur get fired because I don't think he's ever made an NFC Championship game. They had some good teams. Don't get me wrong, but there's something lacking.
Yeah,
I thought he did make a championship game with Rodgers once, early on in his career.
I think it was 21 because they lost to the 49ers in that game with the block punt in 22. That was Rodgers' last playoff appearance.
Yeah. Either way, but yeah, he's his seat's definitely warming up. If he's not fired this season, something has to change in the next year or two to where they actually make some headway, or he's going to be on the outside looking in. I agree.
Bill King wants to know, what about Mike McCarthy coming to Cleveland? I mean,
I could see that, but again, the Cleveland quarterback situation is going to detour a lot of people. I don't know what they're going to do as far as the interview process, but if I'm anybody that is interviewing for that head coaching job, I'm walking in there like I'm asking the owner and the GM, what's your plan? Because you got Deshaun, who's making a fucking mint and hasn't played an entire season with them yet. And then you've got Sideshow Bob over here with Daddy. It's, like that's not an attractive situation. Everybody, if you watch Skip Bayless, then you think that Shedeur Sanders is fucking Tom Brady. But I got news for you. Shedeur Sanders sucks. Go back and watch him actually play the game. Yes, he has played well in some clutch moments, but so did Kenny Pickett. Like, if you watch his body of work, Shedeur Sanders has not done anything this year. And I know he's a rookie and maybe he'll develop, but he isn't there's a reason that he didn't just walk in and win the starting job. I don't think that he is all that yet anyway, but that would be my first question when I go and I sit down with Jimmy H is, what are we doing with these quarterbacks? Kiss my ass, Adam.
Yeah. I don't know, Mike McCarthy to Cleveland. That wouldn't be bad. That'd be another, Super Bowl winning coach who knows how to build a roster. And again, Dees and Ryan, you both brought it up. The quarterback position, just like if the Steelers job came available, the quarterback position is up in the air. Is Will Howard the answer? Are we going to draft a quarterback? Are we going to get another free agent? Is Rodgers going to come back? We don't know. Michael says, "Dear Dave and Dees, what do you think when John Horrible will coach?"
I don't know if he's doing voice to text or if he actually meant to type horrible. Either way, it works for me. I'm still on the train that's taken him to the Giants. If I gun to my head right now, I think Harbaugh is the next coach of the Giants, and then outside shot would be Miami, and then Atlanta. That's where I sit right now. Is I think those are going to end up being his top 3 destinations.
Yeah, I mean, these. I gave my list already. Ryan, your list. If you're Harbaugh, what's your top 4 list or your top 4 destinations for Harbaugh?
Well, I mean, if Green Bay opens up, go to Green Bay. If Green Bay doesn't open up, I would look at Miami first. I would actually look at Atlanta second. What's that?
You got no quarterback in Miami, though, and he's 63 years old.
Again, if he goes to the Giants, again, it's a reclamation project. It really is. I think they might be a couple of years away. If he goes to Atlanta, again, quarterback situation, but I think Atlanta might be a little bit closer to making the playoffs than what Miami and the Giants are. So, look, I don't know where he's going to go. All I know is Green Bay opens up. Green Bay would be my number 1 shot. I wouldn't hesitate. I would take that all day. I would go Green Bay, Atlanta, Miami, the Giants.
Atlanta is a pretty attractive, but let me ask you this question. Do you think Michael Penix is the answer there? Or do they have to move on from him?
No idea. We've only got like little small meals, just like with J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota. We've gotten small meals. And again, whoever you're bringing as a quarterback, some brought this up to me the other day. If you're going to bring in a quarterback, you've got to build a system around what he does well and build around that. If you're going to just draft a quarterback because he's high on the board just to bring him in, you're not doing right by the organization. You're not doing right by yourself. You got to bring somebody that's going to fit your system. Does Shador fit in Cleveland? I don't know. Whoever's going to be the next coach of the Cleveland Browns or like some of these other places like Miami and XYZ, the quarterbacks now, they're not going to be their guy. So what do? Like Dee said, you talk to the GM and the owner. What is your plan going forward at the quarterback position?
Perfect example of that is last year in Pittsburgh. We went in with Russell Wilson, so you've got the offense that you want for Russell Wilson. He gets hurt in camp, and now we shift gears to Justin Fields, 2 completely different styles, and you could see it on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas same scenario with Atlanta right now between Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, 2 completely different ends of the spectrum. And to address your initial question, I agree with Ryan. I'm not out on Michael Penix because I haven't seen enough to decide whether or not I'm in on him. I think they need to get another weapon on the outside to pair with Drake London, use Kyle Pitts a little bit more, and you've already got a stud running back. So, and we know the lifespan of running backs isn't great. So whatever you're going to do, you need to do it in a hurry while you have that talent there, because Bijan is kind of like a Christian McCaffrey and an everything back. Unfortunately, those everything backs tend to get hurt a lot as they progress because of their usage.
Dees, I don't know if you read this from George, but go ahead and read it and tell me your thoughts on this.
John could move on from the Packers. John Harbaugh go to the Packers. LaFleur go to the Browns. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, if I'm the Browns and LaFleur comes available, why not put him on your list? I mean, he's a great head coach. It's just time for a change there. I mean, and again, you guys talk about having franchise quarterbacks and whatever, and I'll throw another oddball out there for Harbaugh. I know me and Dee's talked about this on Friday. Brady's doing the interviews out there for head coaching with the Raiders. You think maybe he reaches out to Harbaugh and says, "Hey, come here. You got the first pick in the draft. Let's go get a quarterback and make this good, and maybe try to trade Max Crosby to get some other picks."
Well, we already know that every team has reached out to Harbaugh. It's whether or not Harbaugh wants to go to the Raiders.
If that's on his list. If Brady's influenced him enough to come there for an interview.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Brady isn't putting the fucking jersey back on, so I don't know. I don't know that if I'm 63 years old that I want to go into a scenario where you've already got a defensive superstar pissed off and wanting to leave in Max Crosby. As much as I believe that Mendoza is going to be the real deal in the NFL, you never know. He could be Ryan Leaf, like it looks like right now, the way he plays against these top college programs, that he could be a good one. It isn't like Mendoza is not a scenario that we've seen so many times with, no offense to all you boys, the Ohio State quarterbacks that have traditionally been absolute dog shit when they get to the NFL because they're in a system, or Alabama quarterbacks who have traditionally been dog shit when they get to the NFL because they come from a system with excellent receivers. CJ Stroud has been kind of the exception to that. The jury's still out on Will Howard, but I don't see Mendoza as that kind of person because he played for Indiana, for fuck's sake. They have talent around Mendoza, but they don't have a Jeremiah Smith and a Carnell Tate on the outsides. So that's why I tend to believe that Mendoza might be a guy. But again, back to the original point, if Harbaugh is going to go to the Raiders and that's what you're putting all of your stock into, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, because that could be a possibility. Him say with Brady going there and Brady winning the championship or the Super Bowls that he won, because I don't like referring to them as championships because they're Super Bowls. We don't want to get Browns fans all whacked up saying, "Oh, well, we won 8 championships and you guys only won 6." Blah blah blah. We're not getting into that. Super Bowl's a Super Bowl. Championship's a championship. It's 2 different things. 2 different leagues at that time. Get over Cleveland Browns. You guys ain't got more Super Bowl wins than us. That's just my thoughts on that. But yeah, I mean, a Raiders job to me, if I'm Harbaugh, I don't know. I take the interview just because it's Brady, but other than that, man, I'm not going there. I'm not.
No,
but that's just that's just my opinion. Harbaugh, I think he already knows where he wants to go. I think he already knows, and like Dee said, and he came out and said that he's got his list narrowed down. I guess he canceled all interviews until this week that's coming up. So him and his family were probably talking about their next destination and where they can move to.
Or
go ahead, Dees.
Or he's gotten word in the grapevine that one of these potential playoff teams might have an opening.
Yeah, that was another.
That's a possibility.
Bill, if LaFleur gets fired in Green Bay, listen. Malik Willis is not the answer. Malik Willis is not the answer.
I wouldn't necessarily completely commit to that, but what I will say is that there's 0 chance that Cleveland is going to bring in another quarterback with the current clusterfuck that they have in that room right now.
Listen, to me, Malik Willis is AKA Matt Flynn 2.0.
No, I disagree. Malik Willis is a Lamar Jackson-esque quarterback as far as raw athletic ability.
So would you take him on Pittsburgh?
If the money's right and Aaron leaves 100%, I would bring him to Pittsburgh.
You would take him over Will Howard?
I'd let him compete.
Right now, yeah.
I'd let him compete.
Oh.
You know what? You know why, Dave? I've actually fucking watched Malik Willis play in the NFL. We haven't seen Will Howard. We haven't seen Will Howard, is what I'm saying.
I mean,
will I pay him $20 million a year? Fuck no. But if the market on him is below what we think, it's a possibility. Is all I'm saying. I'm not giving him starting caliber money, but if I can get him in camp and say, show me what you got, here's a 1-year deal, a prove it deal, absolutely I bring him to Pittsburgh.
Mac Jones, would you take him?
No, I think Mac Jones is a system quarterback, and unless we switch to that kind of system, no.
Yeah, I mean, look at Darnold was a backup for a year in San Francisco too, right? Wasn't Darnold there for 1 year?
That I don't remember.
He might have been. I'm not 100% certain on that. He might have been
there for 1 year.
But all right, we've talked about all this other bullshit for too long. Let's get to this Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, go ahead, Dees, lead the way. I'll look up if Mac played there.
We talked about it on Friday, or was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. That streaks are gonna fall Monday night. The Texans 0-6 lifetime on the road in the playoffs. The Steelers 21 straight home Monday night football game victories. Haven't lost at home on a Monday night since 1991. Mike Tomlin's never lost. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 9 years. The teams that play in a dome in the last 10 years are 1-14 when playing outdoors in temperatures less than 40 degrees. Like, something's going to give here. That defense is absolutely scary, no doubt. However, if I'm going to pick from the quarterback pool in the playoffs of a guy to go up against a defense like that, it's Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that he's going to, surgically dissect them or anything, but I think he's got the best opportunity to know what they're doing and make the right call at the right time. Houston doesn't turn the ball over a lot. They don't get a lot of turnovers, but because they haven't turned it over that much, they're still near the top as far as turnover differential. I think we have an opportunity. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. As much as I'd like to say we're going to come out and get up early, I don't know that that's the case. I think Houston is going to be game early. I think this game's going to come down to the third and fourth quarters, and somebody's going to make a mistake. I think if our defense plays the way that the talent on the team is capable of playing and not absolutely shit the bed and blow coverage like they did a few times late against Baltimore, they can make a splash play or keep it close enough that Aaron can maybe find DK late, get us in field goal range, and do some damage. But it's going to be a tough game. I think defensively this is, well, I mean, on paper it even says it is. This is going to be our biggest challenge. If we get past this defense, there really isn't anything out there defensively that scares me a whole lot. Denver is close, but they're not as complete of a defense as what we're going to see tomorrow night.
Yeah, real quick, Sam Darnold was a 49er back in 2023. He played 10 games there. He started one for them, went to the playoffs with them, but didn't see any action.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Smoke. What's up? But yeah, Pittsburgh's got to win this game, man. I think how they win it is score quickly against this defense. Don't turn the football over. And just go out there and put points on the board in the red zone. We know that they've been pretty good this year in the red zone. I think they're the second best red zone scoring team in the NFL. Their defense played pretty decent last week. Made some plays. Pittsburgh will go get the football. Watt had the interception. They had a couple sacks. Highsmith had a great game last week. Deshaun Elliott, I know he's not back, but he's been on the sidelines coaching these defensive backs and corners. Seen him very active verbally in practice. But I know he's not going to be on the field. That's a big loss, but you got to get turnovers. CJ Stroud has been playing out of this world. I think he's been real hot the last 4 or 5 weeks, throwing the football and moving around. So you got to keep him contained, kind of like you did with Lamar. If you can do that, Pittsburgh wins this game. If not, then we're talking about another first-round exit for the Steelers, and maybe, changes are coming, but don't know until that happens. I know it's a Monday Night Football game. We know their record on Monday Night Football. We're not going to talk about that, or beat a dead horse with it. But you got to win this football game if you're the Steelers. If not, then it's another letdown for the Steelers fans. Ryan, your thoughts?
Just going to continue to harp on it. Whoever runs the ball the best wins the rushing battle and who wins the turnover battle will win the football game. And I will say this, NFL, stop playing fucking wild card games on Monday. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Have three. Yeah, I know it's money. Play 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, but rushing battle, turnover battle, the team who wins those will win the game.
Ryan, I agree with you on that too, especially being an 8:00 game at nighttime, man. That's just very, very strange to do that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
going to be hurting for sure.
I know it's on Monday night. I know it's about money. And Prime too, man. Listen, like, take these games off Prime. The announcers suck on Prime, dude. Put it on national television and let the people who or cable or whatever, let the people who out there working every day, blue collar people, get an opportunity to watch these games. I've seen people, bitching and moaning on Facebook groups about they can't get it because they don't have Prime or they don't have ESPN, because now ESPN made an announcement. I think in 2027 they're going to be a kind of like Netflix, where you're going to have to buy their subscription in order to watch things moving forward, especially with them getting the WWE. I mean, it just give us the opportunity to watch it on antenna TV, like 3, 5.
Within 10 years, mark my words, within 10 years, there won't be broadcast television. It's all going away. It's all going to be streaming.
I think it might be sooner than that, Deez. I think it might be sooner.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But I'm just like, that's my like hard deadline. I think within 10 years, broadcast television is done. Everything is going to be streaming. Hopefully that also means that maybe costs will come down a little bit, because I don't remember what the fact or the figure was, like $1,500 or something like that, if you wanted to watch every single game, or the ability to watch every single game. But that's definitely the way that we're trending.
All right, Deez, real quick, our games for today. What do we got going on?
All right, we have the noon game, or 1 o'clock for you Eastern fucks. The Buffalo Bills travel down to Duval and take on the Jags. Keep in mind, there is a scenario where Pittsburgh has a home game next week, and then a scenario where they host the AFC Championship game. But there's also a scenario where monkeys fly out of my ass. Anyway.
We'll stream that if it happens.
Yeah, that'll be a live show for sure.
Yeah. Make sure you do that from the cornfields.
Yeah. Bills at Jags. This should be a good game. Buffalo's defense was much maligned for most of the season, but statistically, over the last 5 or 6 weeks, they are near the top of the league. They have really kind of put things together there. Jacksonville is going to be a hostile environment. That those fans, the few that they have, are going to be pretty thirsty for a win. I also expect a lot of Bills fans to be there, just because they're, much like Steeler fans, they travel, plus snowbirds down there are going to be eating up tickets. So I expect a very mixed crowd there. I'm going to go with Buffalo here. I think I can't see Josh Allen get knocked out in the first round.
Deez, as I'm sitting here watching George take his picks, by the way, he's got the Jags, the Eagles, and the Patriots. I got to agree with you, Deez. Josh Allen is too good of a talent to be knocked out in the first round. I'm going to take the Bills here. I want to see them win. No offense to the Jags. I mean, kudos to Liam Cohen and his crew or his coaching staff for, big turnaround after the debacle they had the last 4 or 5 years with their coaching with Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson. I'm surprised he's not even got a job interview or whatever. But anyway, I'm taking the Bills in this one.
I'm going the other way. I don't trust the Bills' run defense. I don't know they've improved over the last 5 weeks. Josh Allen can't do it all. When Josh Allen gets pressured, he seems to do stupid stuff. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout by any means. I just think that Etienne and Tootin with the run game, and besides, Jacksonville has the #1 rush defense in the NFL. I think they do enough. I think it's close. I'm going to go Jags like 27-24.
27-24.
All right.
Adam's telling no lies here. Sunshine's been playing out of his mind lately. I think the Jags make a better game than expected. Yeah. Like I said, kudos to them. And finally, Sunshine getting the coach that he needs. That's exactly what he needed.
Sunshine hasn't been to the playoffs though, has he?
No.
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
Who was his coach when he went to the playoffs?
Was it Peterson?
Would have had to have been. It sure as fuck wasn't Urban Meyer.
I think it was Peterson.
Who did they play? Didn't it? And let me check that out.
Chargers.
Let me check that out. Go ahead. What's the next game?
Moving on, 3:30 Central, we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles, the 3 seed here. Eagles have been like Jekyll and Hyde all year. You don't know which Eagles team is going to show up. 49ers have really kind of outplayed the talent that they have healthy. They've just been decimated by injuries all season long, but that offense is legit, and the healthiest part of the team is their offense. So should be a really good game. Brian, I'm going to let you have first crack at your favorite team.
As much as I would like to pick the 49ers, I don't trust the 49ers defense. I trust the Eagles defense more. It's going to be low scoring. It could be one of those one possession games. I've got the Eagles winning 24-17.
Ryan, you're right. 2022, they went 9-8, won the South. Doug Peterson was their coach. Man, Myers has been out of there for 5 years now. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, he didn't even make it a whole season, did he?
No, he didn't.
He went like 1-10, right?
Yeah,
1-10.
Yeah, it was bad.
They beat the Chargers in the wild. They beat the Chargers in the wild card 31-30.
Chargers were up big in that game, and then Jacksonville came back and won.
That's right. That was a monster comeback, and then they got beat the following week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence was their quarterback that week or that year?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That's right, because he was Myers' first pick.
Yeah, I think that would have been Trevor's second or third year.
He got drafted in 2020, I think. COVID year.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So what game are we on? We're on the
49ers at Eagles.
Listen, I want to take the 49ers. I want to take them. I'd like to see them in Seattle in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Look, the Eagles, even though they pulled some starters or whatever, they looked kind of flat against Washington. They've been Jekyll and Hyde all season long. Like, the talent-wise, the Eagles have the ability to get back to the Super Bowl, but they haven't really shown it on a consistent basis on the field yet. 49ers offense has just, whether it's Mac Jones or Brock Purdy, has been clicking. My gut just says that San Francisco is going to win this one.
Are both of these games on national television where people can tune in, or is any of
okay. All of them today are freebies and Peacock, but yeah, it's NBC and Peacock, not just Peacock.
Okay, good.
Sunday night game, we have the Chargers traveling to 32-degree New England to take on the Patriots. I can't, as much as I would love to see the Chargers go there and win, I can't see a scenario where they do. I just don't think that their offensive line is healthy enough. I don't think their defense is good enough to consistently stop Drake May, who's having a MVP caliber year. So yeah, I'm going to unfortunately have to go with the Patriots here.
Listen, you guys know why I'm going with the Patriots. I absolutely love Mike Vrabel as a head coach. I think he's turned that franchise around. Drake May's playing out of this world. Got decent running backs. Got some good tight ends there. Their defense is pretty solid. I'm taking the Patriots.
Something smells about this game to me for some odd reason. I don't know why. New England's sort of like you only play the teams on your schedule. I know the schedule was soft, but for some odd reason, I just have a feeling Chargers are going to play solid defense. They're going to slow that offense down, limit the opportunities. I'm taking the Chargers in a close one, 21-17.
Ryan even throwing the score out there, 21-17. All right, what? And then what's the
Not gonna
other
lie,
game?
I'd love to see it. What'd you say?
What's the other game?
The other game? Well, the other game is tomorrow night. The Houston Texans come into Pittsburgh, PA, to Heinz Field, and it's always Heinz Field, to take on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers in a 4-versus-5 Monday Night Football matchup, 7:20 kickoff. Ryan?
I picked Baltimore to beat Pittsburgh last week. I was wrong, obviously. Look, Houston's defense is fantastic, but their offense is just skittish. Pittsburgh at home, Sunday night, cold weather probably. Look, I trust Pittsburgh's offense more than I do Houston's. Houston's defense, fantastic, but I am picking Aaron Rodgers and the experience. I'm going to go Steelers 27, Houston 23.
Ooh, you're picking the Steelers to win? Wow.
I mean, 27 points against that defense, I'll definitely take it. But
D's, who you got?
I have not picked the Steelers to win a football game since I'm looking back at the schedule. I think the last time I picked us to win was the Bills game, in which we were absolutely taken behind the woodshed and beaten to a bloody pulp. And for those of you keeping count, that's 5 straight games that I have not picked Pittsburgh. And again, streaks are abundant. Streaks are going to end. It's just a matter of which side it is. Our offense is going to struggle and struggle mightily. We need a heavy dose of Jaylen Warren, a heavy dose of Kenneth Gainwell, DK Metcalf, by some accounts that are from reporters that get access. They're saying that DK Metcalf's walking around that place with a pretty big chip on his shoulder, and also seeing some reports that there's just something weird about the way that teammates and whatnot are treating Cam Hayward. In other words, speculation is that he might be secretly hanging it up. TJ Watt has never won a playoff game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So all that being said, I am not able to pick the Houston fucking Texans at Pittsburgh on a Monday Night Football. Give me Pittsburgh. It's going to be a good old JR slobber knocker. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 17-14 on a Boz field goal late.
You know, D's, as much as I want to see the Steelers win this and get off the snide in the playoffs. This defense is really good for Houston. DeMeco Ryans is a great head coach. He'll have them prepared. Unlike Mike Tomlin, I think Tomlin's just too comfortable at his job and knows that he's probably not going to get fired if he loses. I want the Steelers to win, but do I think they pull it off? Absolutely not. I think they lose this game 27-17 is what they lose.
You're fired.
Hey, fire me from my own show.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take damn near perfection. I think this defense is legit. Houston's offense doesn't scare me, though. Their running game is mid, but then again, so is ours. Our offensive line, we haven't really given it enough credit, especially since Dylan Cook took over the left tackle spot. Our offensive line has improved so much over the second half of the season. I really wish Darnell was going to be there, but with him not being there, I could see Freiermuth being a bigger factor as well. So we're going to find out.
Yeah, I got you. All right, guys. For D's, for Ryan in the car, for myself, we will see you guys hopefully next week after a Steelers win. If not, we'll still be here to talk to you and give you our thoughts.
Hopefully it's not the season wrap-up show.
Yeah, hopefully it's not. Adam, real quick, it says it's a replay of last week, but this time Boswell, who misses the game-winning kick, Texans advance, lose next week. Adam's calling shots there. All right, Adam, if that doesn't happen, you got to wear a Steelers jersey and come on the show next week.
Sorry.
All right, guys. Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy your football games today.
Hey, boys.
Enjoy. See ya.